Hey, welcome to Ironbacks Baseball. Sorry about the audio issues. Big day here at George Taylor Field, deep in the heart of Meriton, visiting Niagara Falls Americans. Up against starter Caleb Sagan today. Fouled off down the line. It's education day here today, so you're going to be guided through it by me, my high school diploma, and 1.5 university credits. It is rambunctious here, to the point I'm not sure if any of us will make it out alive. 2 out, 0-1. Missing a little bit high there was Sagan. Sagan's first outing, and we talked Okay. My apologies, guys. Suddenly lost sound there for a second. Dillis has actually pitched 2 2/3 innings for the Ironbacks. Couple hits, 3 runs. 10.13 ERA, which, 2 2/3 innings. Small sample size and all that. Man, it's a gorgeous morning here in Merritton. See the flags blowing from right to left. Hawk in the distance, circling above Merritton Arena. Bases loaded, 2 out. And here comes Ryotaro Munakara. Ryotaro Munakata, excuse me. This is a really tough spot to bring a pitcher into. Bases loaded, you're coming in cold. Ball 1 right away. Wow, batter right on top of the plate. And this is something that you see over and over. Batter crowding the plate, Ironbacks pitchers compensating by throwing 6 inches outside. So it's 2-0 really quickly. Ground ball to Martin, a little bit of a tough hop. Nicely played. They get out of it. It's scoreless going into the bottom of the second.
Leading up the second inning for the Ironbacks, number 22, Josh Olin.
Okay, welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's 0-0 here on Education Day at George Taylor Field. Joshua Bullock leading it off for the Ironbacks. Big fan of the Lumineers. Zach Bryan, Kings of Leon. There you go. Favorite food? Peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Joshua Bullock keeping it real. He's ahead 1-0 against Colin Price out here for a second inning of action. Ooh. That just on the upper nether regions of the strike zone. 1-1 the count. Bullock, as we've seen, likes to work deep into counts. Got under that one. A little bit lost out there, but at the left fielder comes way in. I was watching the shortstop.
Ironback shortstop, Cooper Martin.
And yeah, I gotta say Savino was a little bit last on that one. Again, in fairness, that's slicing kind of pop-up from a lefty with the wind blowing from right to left can be tricky. You'd prefer, if you're the Americans, for it not to be that tricky, but 1 out. Cooper Martin, the shortstop, up at the plate, takes strike one. Martin batting .435 thus far this season. He's played a lot. Started 7 games, got 23 at-bats, 10 hits. Ooh, my goodness. Did not get on top of that breaking pitch. It's 2-1. Martin ahead of the count. Oh. Smacked right at the center fielder, though. Martin just missing that one. That was kind of a fatty, too. No matter, though. Price is 2 up, 2 down. Hasn't allowed a hit yet. Ironbacks fans and there's many school children here today looking for something to cheer about. It's been a bit of a wait. They've had a walk in the stolen base. Some decent pitching. Let's see if Mateo Sursta can step into one. Quickly behind 0-1. Pitch a little low and inside. Nice pitch. Nice changeup. 0-2 on Sursta. Frozen by that changeup. Sursta calls time. Sursta batting .167. He's got 12 at bats, double, 3 RBIs. Right, good take. Oh, they said he goes around. That's a strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Through 2. It's scoreless at George Taylor Field.
No wins, no hits, and no
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's 0-0. World Cup going on, so we'll embrace some soccer scoring terminology. The Americans who left the bases loaded in the bottom of the second have secret agent Tyler Foxcroft leading things off. Ironbacks had a surprising pitching change there in the second, with Richard Griffin deciding to take out Caleb Sagan with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Again, who got off to a great start. He had 5 outs under his belt and then loaded the bases. His last at bat there, 4-pitch walk. And Griffin decided he'd seen enough. Now, we talked about Sagan, attending Fanshawe College, and that can make things a bit challenging in terms of getting the innings and opportunities to really hone his craft compared to his American counterparts. Denied another opportunity. Top of the third, 1-1 the account. Ground ball, slow grounder. Panazzo can't handle that. That's a single for Foxcroft. Legging it out in a very uncatcherly way. It's a tough one. Now Swift Dillis. Jordan out on the mound from Toronto, Ontario, as we mentioned. Majoring in exercise science. Big fan of Jays. Big fan of steak. Ronald Acuna. Stranger Things. Drake. And Into the Groove by Madonna. That's a collection of stuff. Runner on first. Held off down the left field line. Americans thus far. Pretty aggressive on the base pass. See if that continues. Xander Clark grounded to shortstop his last at bat. It's missing outside. 1-1 the count. Fouls that one off. It's 1-2. Clark is from Chicago, Illinois. He's a redshirt freshman with Fayetteville Technical Community College. Just missing a little high, a little away. Bouncy Castle. Now getting a little busy out there down the right field line. And there's never been the buzz in this park that there is for this game here on Education Day. Throw down to first base. A little closer than you'd like if you're Foxcroft. Got a medium lead, I would call it. See what he does. There he takes another little step. Just missing low and inside. I'll tell you, you really notice here in the Collegiate Baseball League that base runners can really impact pitchers. It's just so obvious. And you realize that's something that Major League players hone over time. And, of course, this is a league that's seen Major League players. There goes a runner, but it's fouled back. Louis Varland, so many of the Ironbacks' favorite player, and potentially that's why. He is the hope, he is the dream. Started in this league, as did Ernie Clement, and a number of major leaguers have actually played in this league. So that's one of the reasons why coming down to an Ironsback game is kind of a cool thing. One of the many reasons. 3-2 fouled off. Foxcroft taken off again. It's going to be tiring. Playing catcher's already tiring. Never mind doing laps between first and second. Full count. Runner on first. That was close at first base again. Quite the battle there between pitcher and the base runner. As old as time, that battle. Clark waggling the back behind his left ear. Rips one into right field. That's going to be extra bases. Chase down in right. They're sending Foxcroft home. He's going to get there. Nice little tidy slide at them. Very stylish slide by Foxcroft. There you go. Double from Clark, and it's 1-0 Niagara Falls Americans. Nobody out here.
Number 22, Anthony Savino.
Anthony Savino coming to the plate, the shortstop. He struck out in his last at bat. Savino, a Niagara Falls, New York native, attending Frostburg State University, squares around but off the end of the bat. High school, he played for Niagara Falls High School. All Western New York honors, first team. Behind 0-1 here. Grounded, just foul. 6 inches away from extra bases again. He's behind 0-2. Savdilis, of course, who came in at 2 out, bases loaded at the end of last inning. Got a grounder to short for the force at second to get out of the inning. Running into trouble to start here, though. Oh, nice pitch. Strike 3. Nice little curveball. Savino's swinging over top of that. Looks up to the heavens as he walks back to the dugout, perhaps thinking, you know what? It's a beautiful day. Worst things have happened to people. 1 out. Runner on second. David Harris at the plate for Niagara Falls. And after losing 15-3 last night, Niagara Falls, who are finished in 3rd place in the division last season, a really high-quality team, seem to be a bit of a diminished product thus far, trying to find themselves a lot of new players. There we go. Strike 1 right away. That can do any number of different things to a team, which is you can be like, you know what, we're better than that, or you know what, we're really not better than that, which can be a bummer. And I've been in both those positions. Generally the players on the team know the actual quality of the team they play on. Harris from Essex, Vermont. Attended Clarkson University. Harris, the number 3 hitter, grounded to second to end the first. Looking to bring home another run. 1-1 is the count. Off the hands, but that's going to fall in. That is going to get extra bases, a double. Baloop double. Over top of Panazzo at 3rd base. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You get him in on the fist, he fights it off. Just over top of 3rd base. To the left field grass. 2-0 for the Americans. And it's going to be interesting to see how that early pitching change impacts the Ironbacks, because now you've put all sorts of different moving parts in play. It's that old parable of where every time something happened, they'd ask a person, well, that's a good thing, right? And he'd say, well, we'll see. You know, and then a bad thing would happen, and I'm really butchering the story. And he would say, yeah, well, we'll see. And it's kind of like Sniff Dillis getting out of that second. You're like, well, that's good. The pitching change was a good move, right? And it's like, well, we'll see. And right now, you're like, well, maybe it was a bad thing. I'm like, well, we'll see. Evan Shank at the plate, the DH. Another duck on the pond in scoring position. Pops up that curveball that hung a bit, but Griffin settles underneath it. That's 2 out. Third baseman Thomas Marcotte stepping up.
Third baseman Thomas Marcotte.
Thomas Marcotte from New Bedford, Maine or Massachusetts. I gotta get back on top of the American state abbreviations. I see MA and I just get so nervous. And there's so much glare with these morning games, I can't even Google stuff. So you're at the mercy of me cobbling stuff together. So Dillis quickly ahead here, 0-1, trying to limit the damage here in the top of the third. Marcotte struck out in his last at bat. Looked a little wonky on that first pitch curveball. Way outside, 1-1 that count. Those are the enemy of a pitcher. The totally non-competitive pitch. Kind of resets things back towards the batter after being ahead of them. So big lead by Harris there. Fouled straight back by Marcotte. We're one pitch away from getting out of this. Got the wave action happening down the third baseline. I mean, these stands are just teeming with school kids. Just a constant buzz of life out here. It's great. It's great. 1-2 the count. Oh, just chipped down to the pitcher. Throw it up first, which was way more interesting than you would think. But there you go. We're out of the inning, but it's 2 runs scored for Niagara Falls. It's 2-0 going to the bottom of the third. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the bottom of the third. 2-0 for the Niagara Falls Americans over the Ironbacks after they potted a couple in the top of the inning. Will Maharis leading things off here for the Ironbacks. If you weren't here before last game, there was actually a really compelling race between Maharis and our boy, Nolan Phelan. After Phelan had been replaced for a pinch runner the game before, he was upset. There was a challenge made. Phelan versus Maharis. Oh, nice play at second base by Salcido. The old glove toss to first base. One out really quickly. Maharis really taking the wind out of this story. I thought he'd give me a couple pitches to work with. So the race was from the center field fence to the first base line. Maharis versus Phelan. And if you see Nolan Phelan with his large, I believe the large batting glove was in his left back pocket, you wouldn't have thought Phelan would win. There's $20 on the line, courtesy manager Richard Griffin. Everybody on the team was asked to select who they thought would win. Everybody but two players thought Maharis would easily beat Phelan. The ball's fouled off by Bedrosian. And it was an upset, much to the happiness of everybody involved, as Phelan defeated Maharis, won the $20, danced around with it. And there you go. Never underestimate Nolan Phelan is the moral to that story. Meanwhile, from Welland, Bryce Bedrosian up the plate. 1-2 is the count. Trying to get something started. Trying to get his fans back into the game. Oh, and that was the exact reaction from Bryce Bedrosian on that strike call. That was perhaps an umpire a little overeager for that strike 3 call, because that was blown away, and he hasn't missed much today in my opinion. And I think he heard a little bit something from Richard Griffin down the third baseline. It is 2 out, bottom of the third. Ground ball down there, first base. Meekly go the Ironbacks again. 3 up, 3 down. It is 2-0 through 3 for Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls Americans 2, Niagara Ironbacks.
Welcome back to Ironbacks Baseball. It is the top of the 4th. It is 2-0 for the Americans. And as we proceed further into this game, we're going to have to, at some point, talk about the Jekyll and Hyde Ironbacks offense. And there's a lot of questions coming to this season. They lost a few guys. Carter Shin being injured, certainly something that's massively impacting the team. But the question is, can the Ironbacks score runs against anybody other than the Americans? And that question may become now, can the Ironbacks score runs at a rate that you need to be successful in this league? And the answer is in question.
So we got to get through 3 out.
1-1 the account here. Because really, other than 2 games of going completely off against the Americans, the offense has really struggled. And the offense at the end of last season actually really found itself. Marcus Butts, Keane, Bishop, Gatens. Gatens is not here again today. And they're having a bit of a struggle to replace those bats. Put some pressure on the pitching for sure. We've only allowed 2 hits today, but 2 runs. Those were really long last inning. So Dillis has kind of been moseying around the plate. 3-1 here. Grounder just foul on first baseline. Zangardi walked the last time, stole second.
If we get that far, hopefully. And then, when the inning is over, I've got one.
Another foul ball. Foul wide of first base.
Quench the official sports drink of the Niagara Ironbacks. Available now at all concession stands. Stay refreshed, stay energized, and keep cheering strong. Now over to Megan.
I'm not sure if Megan has one or not, so I'll wait. Oh, maybe run the bases.
Here in the background, we got one of the school kids practicing to do some PA work. Doing that in between innings. It's exciting.
Second baseman Miguel Salcedo.
I'm so distracted by the dulcet tones of the forthcoming PA announcer that I really don't know what happened that about. I think somebody struck out.
So what number is on?
I have to deduce by the fact he just walked back to the dugout. That's really the only possibility.
Yeah, I was gonna see the numbers. Oh, I got. See it?
Or he walked and he'll still stolen second base. It's one of the challenges of my new seating position. I can't see first base, so we've got a runner on second base. Nobody out. One to one the count.
So right when we get to the top tip, I just say for the Megan.
Yeah, actually, I think we're doing hits on the bases.
Okay.
I'll just confirm with her. So for now, yep.
Rip towards short. Martin just can't reach it with the dive.
Dang it.
That's going to score another run. Nobody out.
America's first baseman,
Quickly won
Weiss.
another run on the board. It is 3-0. Crowd is so eager to cheer for the Ironbacks, have not been provided with much of a reason to. So it's 3-0. You know how things work in this league. Things can change fairly quickly.
So Ironbacks got no runs.
Fouled back by Adam Weiss. Also walked his last at bat. Bottom part of the order really causing trouble for Ironbacks pitching.
So it's like end of 4-3-0 Americans.
Weiss is from Saratoga Springs, New York. Attended Herkimer Community College. Ooh, gets a strike on the outside corner there. 0-2, quickly ahead of the account. She led Herkimer in hits and doubles this past season. Second in the team in RBIs. Ooh. Almost caught Salcedo leaning there. Zangardi now, who scored that run, 2 stolen bases, 2 walks, run scored. Just missing a low curveball, 1-2 the count. Another pitch in the dirt. Dillis' body language is not enthusiastic, might be the way to characterize it. I feel like he's not in love with this moment. There goes a runner. That's a high pitch. Decent throw down to second base, but the runner, Salcido, gets in there with a slide. Cutler's strong throw just a little bit on the wrong side of the bag and wasn't given a great pitch to work with. It was up, but it was kind of a change-up. Good jump for the runner. So we got another runner in scoring position. The count, which was 0-2, is now full. Ripped over top of Griffin. That's going to score another run. That's a single. And that sends some more kids out to the bouncy castle.
Next for hitter,
It's 4-0 for the Americans. That's a trip to the mound. This could be a bit of a mess here for the pitching. Sorry, maybe having some troubles with our video now. It's 24/7 technological difficulties here at George Taylor Field. It's a beautiful morning. You can't see it. You're going to have to trust me. Sunny. Nice breeze flowing through. And the Ironbacks are really struggling right now. It's 4-0. They haven't got a hit. And Niagara Falls is just banging the drum away. They got a runner on first. They've been aggressive on the base. He's probably not there for long. Grounder. Panazzo with a nice diving catch. Throw to first. Gets him. Great play by Peyton Panazzo. They needed an out, boy. And he got him one. It's just another seeing eye grounder that presented the possibility of sneaking through. So you got a runner on second now, 1 out. Tyler Foxcroft, who singles his last at bat, scored the first run of the game. Hey, nice curveball to start him off. Foxcroft, big dreams and aspirations, but he was thinking a lot of that was predicated upon a fastball that he did not get. 4-0. That's just a little low and away. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, I know. I think I actually did that last year. I think maybe I got distracted.
Ooh. Generous helping outside corner, presented Seth Dillis. 1-2 the count. This would be a big out. And this game is in the getting ugly territory right now. Just a little bit high. Wanted that one. Still a little pace back to the pitch and rubber. Missing inside, full count again. These have been some long innings. Some long innings. Ever since, I mean, we really had 5 outs in a row. Things look super crisp for the Ironbacks, and since then, it's been a boatload of ugly. Foul back. Keeps count at full. Gap there in right center. Foxcroft Foxcroft making him work. He got under that one. That'll send Panazzo out there with Martin, and neither of those guys made the catch. It was instead left fielder Will Maharis coming on in. Again, we're still working on the video issues. Thanks for hanging in there. Got a runner on second. Xander Clark, who doubled into right field. A liner over top of Bedrosian at first. Knocking in the first run with secret agent Foxcroft making it in.
We're going to save it till the end of the game. It's going to be okay, awesome. Thank you both.
Mission low and inside.
Yeah.
You take it.
I'll take it.
So say you can get a skate unless you want to announce skate. When did so at the end of the time, you want to say coming up in about an hour, I guess.
1-0 the count. Oh, just low and inside makes it 2-0.
Get a professional introduction somehow. There you go.
We got Weiss bounding around there on second base. Weiss, of course, had a single and RBI earlier. Quickly behind on Clark. 3-0. And for those, particularly my producer Reagan Flynn, who wondered about the Seguin being pulled so early move, these last couple innings have sort of added some fuel to that particular fire. That's a walk to Xander Clark. No, I'm sorry, actually, I forget that as we're doing our tech work here, we have some IT intervention happening. The scoreboard is not exactly keeping track of things, so there's a foul ball. These are the times I miss Jesse. Jesse, if you're out there watching at work secretly in your office, in your posh, upscale office that all chefs are provided, I believe, in this world, I miss you, man. I gotta keep track of score and stuff. And full count. Ground ball to short. Martin sure-handed a short throw to first. There you go. Through 3.5. It's 4-0 for the Americans.
After 3.5 innings, it's 4-0 for Niagara Falls Americans.
Try going back.
Let's go Ironbacks. Simon says, say, let's go Ironbacks. Simon says clap. Simon says clap.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the bottom of the fourth. We're winding down an epic game of Simon Says here with all the school kids from the local area. Education Day here at George Taylor Field. 4-0 Americans. A little bunt there to try to lead things off. Well executed. Michael Gregus with a single to start thing. And good for Gregus. We really needed a little something to get a spark of life back into this crowd, given the game has been not a lot to cheer about for.
Right fielder, Ronan Glassford.
Here we go. We got our new PA announcer on the job. Introducing Ronan Glassford. Glassford hit a long fly ball to right field fence there in the first inning. Holding on Gregus. Yeah, the Ironbacks have really been looking for a spark. See if they can do something with this base runner. Got the third baseman way in here, which is surprising to me, given Gregus hit one to the fence last time, and they're down by 4. But what do I know? Really aggressive lead by Gregus, and you know, Richard Griffin has a 247 green light, so I wouldn't be shocked to see Gregus going. 1-0 the count here. Nice pitch. 1-1 is the count. Price has done well here. Through 3, no hits, 1 walk, 2 Ks. It's been a nice outing for him. And the Americans have been starving for a decent outing. Thus far, he's given it. Whoa, big lead. Nice toss over to first base by Price. It's quite the battle going on. 1-1 the count. Man, a little something here from the Ironbacks. We get this crowd back focused on the game. And, you know, good for them. I always feel like baseball game is not one you have to focus on all the time. Oh, that's off the hands. That could be a little trouble down the left field line. Just foul. Jesse was here. He'd be very excited to see a left fielder lose their hat. Nobody keeps track of lost hats quite like Jesse Seguin. Xander Clark with the loss of the hat there. Price ahead 1-2. Gregus really aggressive lead off first base here. Ball's hit into center field, being tracked. That falls in. Gregus digging for third. Glassford for second, slides in a cloud of dust. What do you know, Joe? That's a double. Runners on second and third. Nobody out. The Ironbacks making a little noise to start the fourth.
Number 1, third baseman, Peyton Panazzo.
Peyton Panazzo we saw make an outstanding play there at third base last inning. Back up to the plate. Walk last time he was up. Got a stolen base. Where's the second, third? Nobody out. Crowd starving for a run to celebrate. There's a fly ball to left field. That shouldn't be deep enough to get him. Clark, a little toss to the cutoff man. F7. 1 out. Runners on second and third. Here comes the number 4 hitter, Kieran Cutler. Well done by the PA announcer once again. A lot of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm matters. Kieran Cutler again from Paradise, Newfoundland, attends McCook Community College. Fly ball to center field. Caught by the right fielder, excuse me. Toss home. That's going to be an out at third. Oh, the slide got him in there. My goodness. That's a sac fly. Scoring Gregus. It's an F9. And Glassford, some crafty sliding work there, gets to third. So they narrow the score to 4-1, down 3. Bullock, who flied out to left field and is the bat with a chance to make it just a 2-run game. See what he can do. It's inside. Price showing his first sign of kind of wobbling a little bit here. He's been walking the straight line for 3 innings. Completely shut down the Ironbacks. Quick pitch fastball, missing low on Bullock. 2-0, just misses down. 3-0. Is he going to get a green light? I would think so. That's a lot of signs from Richard Griffin, who just emptied the treasure chest of signs there to Bullock. That's a ball 4. Runners on first and third. Cooper Martin, the shortstop, who's looks swell in the field today. Bringing out some catcher in the rye verbiage. Here today's Education Day. Swell. Looks swell at the plate. It's funny, I was thinking about Education Day. When I was in high school, I went to Dennis Morris High School here in St. Catherine's Catholic School, wearing the classic DM uniform at the time, which was gray corduroys, a burgundy V-neck sweater, and a white collar underneath. A nice little poke for Cooper Martin in the center field. That's going to pot a run. RBI, Cooper Martin. Fans are starting to wake up to the fact that, hey, we got a competitive team in this one too. 4-2. Runners on first and second. As you heard my man beside me say, Mateo Sursta stepping to the plate for the Ironbacks. So anytime I had to do an aptitude test, which they made us do, I always got as what I should become, priest. Which I always sort of chalked up to the fact that Catholic schools had like a certain percentage that had to be priest as the end result, you know, in order to get more priests. And then of course I never became a priest. A little grounder to short. Could be interesting. Well handled. Well dug out. Nice play by the Americans. 4-2 through 4 innings here for the Americans. Yeah. Yeah.
Niagara Falls 4. Ironback.
Baseball. Welcome back to Niagara Ironbacks baseball. It's 4-2 for the Americans over the Ironbacks, entering the top of the 5th. Some signs of life from the Ironbacks there in the bottom of the 4th. led by the guest PA announcer, Cade, who did a wonderful job. Hit after hit after hit with Cade on the PA announcing. We'll see if the Ironbacks can use that momentum to go in a more positive trajectory. Siftilis back on the mound. He's struggled here a bit. A lot of pitches. Working deep into the counts and walks. It's a little, he hasn't really had a lot of really big hits happen here, but they've been finding all the empty places. Quickly behind here, 2-0. Facing David Harris, center fielder, 1 for 2 with a double. Double off of Siftilis in third. 3-0. Hate to see that positive momentum be given away, and nothing does it quite like a walk. There you go, fighting back, 3-1. A little wrinkle there in a 3-0 account. Not sure if Harris had the green light, but if he did, he was probably thinking fastball and just laid off that. Just a little bit high for a walk to lead things off. Leadoff runner for the Americans. They've been super hyper aggressive on the base. Richard Griffin now comes out to the mound.
Center fielder David Harris.
Hand on the shoulder. It's story time with Richard Griffin. It's just two people. It's a small story time today. Evan Schenk, the DH, he struck out, popped out to second base. Hey, I didn't finish my thought there. So, it's a funny thing about all those different aptitude tests that I got that kept telling me that I should be a priest, is that would even happen when I went out into the big bad world itself, and you do aptitude tests at like temp agencies and stuff, because that's how glorious my career became after high school. So I don't know what to make of that. Again, never became a priest, but every once in a while I'll find myself at like a funeral listening to the priest and thinking, I could do better than this. Yeah. There you go. Although I was thinking this morning too about education. I think it was like once upon a time, billions and billions of years ago, we were like just one-celled organisms floating around in the primordial ooze, And then one day we decided, what would be great? Like snow globes, toasters, dehumidifiers. And so we endeavored to evolve until we could create and utilize all those things. And we thought, you know what? We need opposable thumbs, eyes, ears, taste buds to appreciate them. But knowing it would take billions of years to get to the point where, snow globes and toasters and dehumidifiers would be created, we knew we had to be able to, right back up the middle. They are all over Siftilis thus far. That conversation with Richard Griffin, I don't think it was throw a fatty right down the middle, but that's sort of what just happened. So knowing it would take billions of years for us to get to the point where we'd get to that juncture, whereas one-celled organisms, we could evolve into snow globes and toasters and dehumidifiers, we figured we're going to have to be able to procreate, going to have to be able to communicate, we're going to have to be able to sustain. We're going to have to pack a solid lunch of ham sandwiches and ginger ale. I was thinking about this today because it's kind of funny when a lot of times squaring around, Siftilis handles it, throws to first. That'll move. Oh my goodness. That'll move him way up as he tosses that ball away. It's going to be a play at the plate. Wow. What should have been a sacrifice to put runners at second and third ends up as a triple of sorts, an error. But that would be an error on the pitcher that scored 2 runs, and those 2 runs from the last inning are quickly given away. Here comes Richard Griffin to change the pitchers just moments after a conversation that really gave one more pitch to Siftilis' outing. So it's 6-2. We're looking at a pitching change. I'll finish the thought there, since the game tends to be going in a not great direction right now. And we'll get you the new pitcher coming into the game. It looks like number 7, Seth Morrison, coming into the game. It's just funny when so many of our conversations and our philosophical talks about what we should do or what we shouldn't do, conservative ideas about not changing and staying with something that we thought of in 1774. You know what I mean? Like, we are once one-celled organisms floating around in primordial ooze. The idea that, if you look at it through that lens and say, we should just stick with something from 1950, like, we just need 10-pin bowling alleys, we need Dairy Queen, and that's pretty much it. It makes as much sense as just saying we should have just stopped at the snow globe. So that's my thought on education today. It's 6-2. These are the things I start to talk about when it becomes 6-2. But the Ironbacks here on Education Day with a stands full on a beautiful summer morning. Trying to get back on the good foot. The pitching kind of went a little bit sideways, and credit to the Americans. They were working deep in the counts, really pushing the Ironbacks pitching. And with that early pitching change, seeming to work out in the short term, in the long term, we're suddenly going to see a lot more different bodies and a lot of different considerations about leaving guys out in the mound a little longer because of the way things are going. So, Seth Morrison into the game for the Ironbacks. Let's find out a little bit about Seth Morrison for me to convey to you. Morrison's 6'3" from Dorchester, Ontario. Attends York College of Pennsylvania. He's taking accounting. Walk-up song, Copperhead Road by Steve Earle. That's when he's batting. When he's pitching, it's Blow It High Do by Tragically Hip, Canadian classic. He's facing now Dominic Zangardi, who's walked twice, stole a couple bases, scored a run, strike one from Morrison. That's a good way to start. We like to see things like that. Favorite food? Love to say it. Chicken pot pie. That's why we call this change-up, the chicken pot pie change-up. Just catches the outside corner. Strike zone's become a little erratic as time has moved on. 1-1, 0-2 the count, excuse me. Trying to get a quick out here. Infield in, of course. That's the only way we like our infield here in Niagara. Trying to keep that crucial 7th run from coming home. Really modest lead there from Marcotte. Strike 3 from Morrison. There we go. That's a quick one.
Right fielder, Dom Zangardi.
Okay. Ball is ripped. Oh, whoa, they're frozen in center field there. That's going to be a single. Scores another run. 7-2. Hey, he really ripped that one. I have really lost track of what's going on here with the scorecard as Salcido comes up to the plate, so my apologies for anybody related to the batters who were actually up at those times. Nonetheless, I can't tell you definitively it is 7-2 for the Americans. There goes a runner off the runner. That'll be an out that desperately needed by the Ironbacks. Yeah, Zangardi taking that one off the ankle between first and second. He now sits at first base. There's 2 outs.
You can be hurt. So please respect the playing area. Thank you.
Okay. 7-2. Crowd rambunctious, fun, lively. Sometimes a little too keen on being in play, though, according to the PA announcer we've been having. 0-1, Morrison quickly ahead. Weiss at the plate. Oh, just missed him. Ball foul down the right field line, just into the bullpen. I think it was nicely caught there in the bullpen too. That's our number 33. Cameron Fitzpatrick with a nice play out there. Could be mistaken because I have a giant chunk of wood immediately to my right. That's not the greatest craftsmanship, I'd say. 2-2 the count here for Morrison, trying to get out of this inning. Keep the damage at 3 runs. Ground ball to second. Griffin scoops it. Toss to first. That's it. It is 7-2 Americans going into the bottom of the 5th.
7-2.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's a beautiful morning here in Merritton, Ontario. I guess we slipped into the afternoon here. It's actually 12:30. It's Education Day, and fittingly, we have Jackson Lerner on the mound. Jackson, lifetime learner on the mound. He has an ERA of 10.13. He's pitched 5 1/3 innings, given up 8 hits, struck out 5, 11 runs, 6 of them earned, and we've seen some of those here at George Taylor Field. Will Mahara stepping up to the plate. He's 0 for 1. And the Ironbacks offense showed a little bit of life there last inning. They're going to need to show a lot more life given the way things have been going there on defense. Got a lot of the schools here from around the area, like I mentioned. Bottom of Burley Hill, Burley Public School. Maharis with a high fly ball to left field. That's going to be allowed out.
First base number 38, Bryce Pedroia.
Vice Bedrosian comes up now. He struck out in his last at bat. Bedrosian thus far this season, batting .222, 2 hits and 9 at bats. Graduate of Bulletproof Baseball. Taking one up high there. Lerner's fastball, if I remember correctly from last game, can come in a little bit flat. So there's some opportunity to hit the ball, as we just saw there with Maharas. He just got under that a bit. Oh, in on the fist. Trojan chooses to swing and fouls that off. Lerner from Stratham, New Jersey. Attends Clarkson University. Appeared in 2 games last season. Struck out a batter. And as the bio says, as you can see for yourself, he's a sidearm slinger, featuring a sinker, slider, and a cutter. Bedrosian ahead here, 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Franklin Griffin on deck. Ironbacks struggle to get bottom of the order involved, but here's a base runner with Bedrosian taking a walk.
Ironbacks second baseman, FG3, Franklin Griffin.
Franklin Griffin, the third at the plate from Palmetto, Georgia. Griffin, who attends Kennesaw State University. Taken inside and low. Griffin's favorite food, omelets. There you go. Not a lot of details there. That really opens up a world of possibilities. Maybe just omelets in general. Oh, goodness gracious. Down 7-2. Down 7-2. And Bedrosian is picked off. Looking leaning towards second early. That's what's known in some circles as a backbreaker. But it's early. It's the Collegiate Baseball League. Many things are possible, but it is a free out giveaway there. Griffin fouls that off. Breeze really picking up, as you can see by the flags in center field. Catcher going out to have a conversation with Lerner. A lot of conversations happen in this inning. Oh boy. Got a kind of big buzz going here in the outfield stands as the kids here for a little taste of Ironbacks baseball. Find other kids perhaps a little bit more interesting than the game right now. So there's a lot of meandering about, and like I say, I mean, baseball, it's not always meant to be paid attention to. 7-2 for those of us paying attention. Griffin at the plate, 0 for 1. Over top of that curveball, foul. Ironbacks doing Lerner a little bit of a favor with some base running shenanigans on a foul. 1-2 to Griffin the third. Check swing, they appeal down to first base. He says it didn't go. Good job, Griffin, holding up on that pitch. Lerner goes back to the rubber. 2-2 the count. Oh, ouch. That's a hit batter.
Michael Gregas.
Gregas now coming up to the plate. Michael Gregas. Single, run scored, 1 for 2 today. Little Motley Crue action. Gregas, excuse me, attending Davenport University. Favorite food? Italian. You know that food. And you know what? As somebody who grew up in an Italian city, in Thorold, Ontario, Italian food's pretty darn good. Why narrow it down? Little grounder to second. Salcido charging, throws it away. That's going to get the runner to third base. Gregas goes to second. That's a single and an error by the second baseman. Runners on second and third. Man, that pickoff play really looming large right now. We got runners at second and third. We've got 2 out. Ronan Glassford coming to the plate. Big opportunity for Glassford, who is flied out to right and hit a double. Strike one. Glassford quickly behind. Taps a little dirt off his cleats. That is fouled down the first baseline. I believe there's a disagreement going on behind me about whether that was a hit or not. I would vote hit, but I can see a difference of opinion on it. There's like yelling going on here. Ooh, that curveball misses wide. And Lucas has the hammer. He's the final voice here on whether it's a hit or not. And he's sticking with calling that an error. Error on second baseman. It's definitely an error on the runner moving to second base. I'm not feeling too passionately either way. Oh, Glassford fighting that off. That was a late decision. That was like all the little parts of the brain were just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to swing at that. And then one loud part of the brain was like, no, swing right now. 1-2 is the count. Griffin leading off third. Gregas off a second. At strike 3, Glassford's rung up. No runs scored. It's 7-2. Americans going into the top of the 6th. See if I can.
Leading up for the Americans, number 33, Leonardo Munakata.
Top of the sixth, 7-2. Just made my way back through the throng of school children. There's a strikeout. There you go. That's the way to start an inning.
That's 6 though. That's 6 straight.
Number 29, Tyler Foxcroft.
Nice job by Morrison. Tyler Foxcroft at the plate. 1 for 2 today. Ironbacks could really use a 0 here. Getting the leadoff hitter helped out with that. Crowd is sort of abandoned the Ironbacks. And I'd like to say they deserve better, but having a clean inning would do a nice job of getting the crowd back on side. One on one to count. Just a little high with the fastball there. Yeah, he's a big fan of Big Bang Theory, too. I forgot about the Bazinga strikeout call. There you go, strike 2. Could have used that on the last batter, too. That's tragic. Maybe he'll give me another chance. Chicken pot pie changeup here. A Bazinga on a chicken pot pie changeup? That would be wonderful. Oh, that was a chicken pot pie changeup. A little up in zone, a little outside. Foxcroft went chasing after that. 2-2. Oh, Foxcroft just staying alive there. Foxcroft batting .222 coming into the game. Hits one high in his center field. Base gets under that. It's 2 out. 2 quick outs.
Strikeouts as a team. Remember, all these 7
Kinda like that.
For a game ticket. We'll get you 3 mozzarella sticks at Sala 61.
They're one
Number 42,
one
Sandra
strikeout away here, I believe, from the 7 strikeouts and the old cheese stick. Cheese sticks from Sala 61. Xander Clark comes to the plate. Doubled, walked, grounded short. Again, I have a severely flawed lineup card, apparently. So, doing the best I can here. Getting a little cool up outside here. I gotta say, the sun is sort of gone away. Got big blue sky over center field, but over top of us here in the press box, we got some stratus clouds, I believe, from grade 6. Science class, that's what I learned. I'm personally partial to the old cumulus cloud. That's one of my favorites. Those bright, fluffy clouds gliding through big blue skies. You can see one there just over the lights there in left center. That's a solid. I'm trying to figure out the shape on that actually. It's kind of like a fish shape. When you see like a fin, back fin, top fin, ground ball to Griffin. Throws the first. What do you know? 3 up, 3 down. Maybe the Ironbacks are starting to rally right now. Going into the bottom of 6, they're down by 5.
This inning is brought to you by Pizza Cheer. Leading off the Ironbacks, number 1, Peyton Panazzo.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It is 7-2 for the Americans. And we've talked about through this game that the question for the Ironbacks here in their 10th game is, can their offense get off against decent pitching? It's the question. Because really, the run total is kind of propped up by 2 games against the Americans. And outside of that, really not a whole lot. Down by 5, this would be a great time to start asserting that the offense is good enough. Panazzo, we've seen make some nice plays in the field. He's 0 for 1, flight out to left. He's walked, he's stole a base. Okay. That's a strike right on the corner, I gotta say. Like when seeing that, I'm not used to this angle. That was definitely caught the outside of the plate. 1-2. Strike 3 from Lerner. And we talked about the Americans really struggling on the mound. It's been a way better game for them. Colin Price started. 9 straight outs. No, he had aside from a walk there in the first 3 innings. Gave up a couple in the 4th. And then Lerner came in the 5th. So Kieran Cutler at the plate. Cutler 0 for 1 with a sac fly. His last at bat brought home a run. If there is anybody could give us some pyrotechnics at the plate, it is Cutler. Curveball just missing inside. 2-0 the count. See the heart of the order. Could get something started for the team. Oh. Tied him up. That should be an easy play at first. It is an easy play. Really quick inning here. 2 out. Joshua Bullock comes to the plate for the Ironbacks. You know, one of the things I actually prepared today is because I felt like I haven't really talked a lot about Niagara Falls, New York, and I think it's because the assumption that because I know Niagara Falls, Canada so well that I know Niagara Falls, New York really well, and I don't. I think we said on one of the previous broadcasts, we used to go over there all the time when the bars used to be open at 1 a.m. here and then 3 p.m. over there. So going over the river, as we called it, was a big thing back then, back in the days where you could get over by just showing a gift certificate. Oh, simpler times. Nice pitch there on the outside corner. So I went to TripAdvisor, which I don't know how great of a measure it is of things to do in any city, really. But looking at Niagara Falls, New York, it's primarily falls-related stuff. And some things that I've never experienced. Goat Island, never experienced it. You know, just a lot of the trails over it. And it almost feels like they've done a better job. Bullock actually got plunked there, it looks like, of preserving a more natural sort of semblance of Niagara Falls. I mean, Niagara Falls, Canada, like, we can't pave over things fast enough. We can't turn nature into an amusement park quick enough. Niagara Falls City Council can't have enough go-kart tracks paving over natural space. So sometimes Niagara Falls, Canada, particularly around Clifton Hill, can be a bit of a gong show. Richard Griffin leaping for that one, but not making a play. Won't charge him with an error there. That was a tough hop. Tough hop. He perhaps could have reacted a little quicker to it. So anyway, yeah. So we'll just take those top 9 things, top 8 things out of the mix, because they're all Niagara Falls related. You know, there's a little grounder to second base. Bobbled by Salcido, but whoa. And that's an interesting play. Good hustle by Bullock down there. That's absolutely going to be an error on Salcido. And a gift from the Americans to the Ironbacks there as Mateo Sursta comes up to the plate. And the Americans have been pretty stingy with gifts today. So let's see if Sursta can take advantage of that. Again, this crowd really needs something to cheer about. I need something to cheer about. Sursta missing badly on that changeup. Sursta from Woodbridge, Ontario. His walk-up song is Butterfly Effect by Travis Scott. Favorite TV show? Friends. Favorite food? Anything Italian. There's a theme today. And I would expect nothing less from Mateo. Nice pitch from Lerner. Catches the inside corner. Lerner ahead 0-2. Lerner just on a day built for him. Education day. Mateo Sursta, good at ping pong. Self-professed, so I can't confirm that. That's what he says, though. Fastball outside. Such a busy day here today that I haven't even got a free hot dog. What kind of world do I live in where I don't get free hot dogs for every baseball game? Sursta, 1-2 pitch. Whew, got out of the way of that one. 2-2 the count. Sursta seemed not a fan of having to move in that way so quickly. 2-2 is the count. Man, it's got to be brisk out here. So beautiful to start today. We're looking back at the base runners. Just misses outside. It's a full count to Sursta, who's fought back. Sursta taking sports management. Husson University, or Husson University. Hard for me to know. These 2 S's really messing me up. Oh, strike 3. End of the threat for the Ironbacks. It is 7-2 through 6. Americans in the lead.
American 7.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the top of the 7th. Ironbacks still down by 5 runs. Been a really quiet day for the Ironbacks at the plate. On the mound, things really went sideways after a nice, crisp 1 2/3. It's so much fun. Things look so promising for 5 outs, and then things went sideways. Very sideways. But, in good news, Seth Morrison's kind of got us on the good foot so far. It's a high fly ball to center field that Gregus should have a little trouble with. A little trouble it is. So Savino's out. One quick out. Morrison's been good since he came in the 5th. He's got 1 2/3. Well, 2 innings now. He's giving up 1 hit. Struck out 1. So now we've got to deal with David Harris. Let me check on that actually. Umpire calls timeout. Number 18 here at the plate, David Harris. Oh, yeah, so Niagara Falls. Things to do in Niagara Falls. Once we get all past, all the great Niagara Falls stuff, the state park and Goat Island and what have you, number 9, outlet malls. Which used to be huge back in the day. Strike 1 from Morrison. Yeah, back in like those halcyon times where you're crossing the border by just showing your birth certificate. One of the big things was to go to the outlet malls, buy some stuff, and then try to sneak back over the border without having to pay duty on it. High pop-up. Martin back, easily handles it. 2 quick outs. The worst thing, though, and I've seen it, Cheesecake Factory is a big thing then, too. Like a factory for cheesecake was very exciting to us Canadians, and a reason to go over the border in and of itself. But getting back to try and sneak stuff over, if you took all the tags off, and the border guys suspected, like, hey, clearly you just bought a bunch of stuff over in America, they could make up their own pricing. And I've seen this done. I've watched it done. And inflated prices seem to be their way to go to teach us young Canadians trying to get away with a little something, a lesson. So that's my memories of the outlet malls. Number 10 is the Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino. One of the amazing things I think about modern capitalism is the ability to tie our identity to giving our money away for nothing. As in gambling. Another high pop up. That should be handled by Cutler. Falls back, but there's a nice catch. 3 up, 3 down for Morrison. 7-2 through 6.5 here for the Americans over the Ironbacks.
So hit the 7th inning stretch. And it's time to introduce Megan for another promotion. Megan?
Thank you so much, Doug. Everyone, we are going to do a little bit of a cheer, okay? And I know a few of you are getting ready to leave, but I do want to hear the ones that are still here remaining. I want to hear you get loud, okay? I see you over there in the third line bleachers. Are you having a good time? It didn't really sound like you're having a good time. Are you having a good time? That is right. Next year what we're going to do is a little repeat after me. We did it earlier, but I want to test your skills to see if you picked it up, okay? When I say iron, you say backs. Iron. 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 When I say play, you say ball. Play. 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 When I say get, you say loud. Get. Get. You guys are bringing it. Great job, everybody. I want to keep hearing you cheer. You guys are doing an awesome job. So keep cheering loud. The Ironbacks need you. They're coming up to bat now, okay? Let's go, Ironbacks. Good job.
Are we good to go back?
Yeah.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field.
Leading off the 7th.
7-2. It's been a day of
Number 10, Josh
gremlins in the technology, apparently. Again, I'm really just a guy who sits in front of a microphone and talks. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry if you've had any inconvenience. But there you go. 7-2. Bottom of the 7th. Ironbacks got 9 outs to score at least 5 runs. Jackson Lerner's been shutting him down. Pretty much everybody's been shutting him down. Little ground ball to second base. Hops up nicely for Salcido. 1 out. The Ironbacks looking like they're going gently into that good night. Crowd trying to bring him to life.
Number 14, Haas Fenwick.
It's Haas Fenwick at the plate. Still not using the Bonanza theme song for a walk-up song, but I talk to people, nobody listens. Whoa. I'll tell you though, one of the bright spots I've seen over the past week or so is you can kind of see Anderson getting locked in a little bit, or excuse me, Fenwick getting locked in a little bit. Looks really strong at the plate. Even his outs are really good ABs. Why the third baseman is on the infield grass, I do not know. Rip down the first baseline. That's a fair ball. Haas chugging for 2B. That's 2B. Double. Haas Fenwick.
Baseman Franklin Griffin.
Nice poke by Haas. We get a pinch runner, which I can't even begin to imagine why.
It's changed this because I reset it, so everything should be there.
1 out. Runner on second base. Ironbacks need some runs. Devin Medore taking the lead off second base. He's a pinch runner. Baffled by this pinch running. But it's been one of those days. There's a strike, 1-1. Learners managed to get out of trouble. This is going into his third inning of work here. So, we were talking about places to go in Niagara Falls, New York, Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino. I was talking about how the fact that we've kind of been taught through preponderance of advertising and really just sports shows, pretending to be sports shows while actually being gambling advocate sites. That, you know, it makes me think of the approach to it, which is we're sort of given this idea that gambling can be your idea, like you're a good gambler. And it makes me think I had a boss, his name is Halim, and he would start off conversations with me sometimes with, Darren, you're a smart guy. And I would stop him at that point and say, don't say that, because I know, number one, I'm not a smart guy. And second, you're about to ask me to do something only somebody who's not smart would do. Right? And that's gambling. Like, hey, potential better, you're a smart guy, right? Anyway, so that's the preponderance of casinos on either side of the border. Oh, good. That was a meek swing from Franklin Griffin, the third strikeout. Here's, by the way, here's a cap lock review from Road 589743. It's a long number. So all in cap locks. Have been there 5 times in the last 6 weeks and lost $60 each time in less than 10 minutes playing 2.50 video poker. Their machines are way too tight. That's there, THERE. Not even some play time. There you go. So take it from Road 5879342. Now, number 16 on the list is actually, and here's a connection between the two Niagara Falls and something we forget, and particularly those of us, like, we got the canal just down the street from here. By the way, if you're paying attention to the game, Greg is at the plate, 2 out, runner on second, fouls off, is quickly behind 0-2. Niagara Falls Underground Railroad Heritage Center over in Niagara Falls, New York, and the Welland Canal just down the street was a vital part of the whole Underground Railroad kind of channels and what way it worked, getting people from the States to here. Harriet Tubman Center, somebody who's revered on either side of the border in different places. I can't remember the team that was here. Might have been Auburn, because St. Catharines has any number of touch points related to Harriet Tubman, and I believe it's Auburn that has a facility there honoring her as well. 1-2, crowd cheering on the Ironbacks. Gregus fouls one back off the home plate net. This crowd, give him credit. Give him credit. Be the kid, you've been here for a long time. It's now 1:13. The Ironbacks haven't done much of anything thus far. And they're still cheering them on. So good for these kids, and good for the teachers who brought them here and supervise and watch things. It's an important job. Greg, that's going to be into left field. They're playing nice and shallow as if expecting that very thing. 7-2 Americans going into the top of the 8th.
And I gotta say, John, these fans are really bringing the energy. I am proud of them. Impact Promotions. We gotta give a shout out to Impact Promotions because we want to say thank you for providing that t-shirt. And we're gonna do a little t-shirt talk. I'm gonna throw it. Thank you, everybody. Impact Promotions, big shout out. And you are bringing the energy loud and proud. Really proud of you.
And a big thank you to all the teachers here today for your work all year with your classes and for helping us facilitate a great education day at the ballpark. Thank you so much. This inning is presented by Holiday Inn Suites, Ontario Suite, and St. Catharines. Proud partner of your Niagara Ironbacks and the perfect place for out-of-town fans to relax, recharge, and feel right at home.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. Here, deep in the heart of the glove box of the Niagara region, Merritt, Ontario. Ironbacks. This morning game have been kind of bleary-eyed, waltzing their way through 7 innings. They're now down 7-2. Bright spot here today, though, has been Seth Morrison. Now entering his 4th inning of work. Facing Thomas Marcotte. Sorry, it actually looks like a pinch hitter. They got Cooper Rowell actually coming in. Rowell? Fly ball is center field. That's one quick out. They take care of the pinch hitter.
Right fielder Dom Zengardi.
Quick out for Morrison. I missed my chance for the Bazinga, and he hasn't provided another one. Dominic Zengardi, who's been nothing but trouble today. A couple walks, a single. Oh, chasing one a little high. Some high heat from Morrison. Quickly had 0-1. I mean, but for Morrison, this game could be wildly out of hand. Crazy thing is there's 7 runs, only 6 hits for the Americans. Americans have struggled with pitching and offense, so this has got to be a bit of a confidence booster for their pitching staff, completely shackling the Ironbacks hitters. That's a tough one. Ahead 0-2, and that's a hit by pitch from Morrison. You know, but as someone who's constantly saying they should pitch inside, that's a thing that could happen. Zengardi on for the 4th time today, the most painful way. He also took a ground ball in the ankle, so he's been sort of a magnet for baseballs today. Miguel Cecido up at the plate. Zengardi also has a couple stolen bases. There he goes again. Nice toss by Cutler, but just wide of the bag. Right throw, wrong location. Location, baby. Zengardi on second, which is pretty much how it works for him. Get on first, and then first pitch, steal second. Man, that breeze is getting chilly. Ground ball down third baseline, past Panazzo. That's easily going to score Zengardi. Salcido chugs into second base. And I think that's an accurate representation of the running style. Double for Salcido. Score goes to 8-2. Tough game for the Ironbacks here today. I gotta say, the crowd's having a good time anyway. Sometimes, like I said, some of my favorite times at the park I've had were games that were, I mean, essentially the Ironbacks laying an egg out here. Have been those kind of games where you're just like, hey, it's the summertime. I'm outside. I'm with people I like. There you go. Bob's your uncle. What more do you need? 0-1 the count here from Morrison. Hit to center field. I guess nervous energy out there, but really just had to stand absolutely still to get that ball. 2 out. Ryotaro Munakata stepping up to the plate for Niagara Falls. 0 for 3 today. I scored 8 runs. It's always tough being 0 for. It's a chance to work on his self-esteem. Cutler, after that inside fastball, decides to amble out to the mound. Pat Morrison on the chest. Relay some compelling information. Strike, just top of the zone. That was a chicken pot pie. Change up. Could have been feasted on, but wasn't. Fouled off down the first base line. It's 1-2. Morrison looking a little less sharp this inning. Floating up some change-ups and see some of the kids heading back to school. That one down in the dirt, 2-2. Looks like they had a good time at the park today. One really tied up Munakata. 2-2, the count stays at. The Americans looking to level their record against Ironbacks to 2-2 after being down 2-0 after 2 games. So they will move ahead of the Ironbacks in the standings with a win here too, as the Ironbacks are going in the wrong direction. Hit center field. Here comes Gregas. Dropped it. Caught it on his wrist. He just flat out missed that. He was sort of like just starting his dive. And it ended up really handcuffing or wrist cuffing him, which is, I guess, the appropriate place to be cuffed. So that looked like a single. I'm not sure how that's going to be scored officially. I'm assuming a single. So Lucas confirming that that's indeed a hit. That brings the score to 9-2. Tyler Foxcroft at the plate. High grounder over Panazzo. Wow, they can't catch a break out here. I'm not going to attribute the Ironbacks being down to bad luck because that's just not true. But they have had a lot of those little seeing eye singles and bloopers happen this game. It's not like there's been like a lot of mashing going on. For fans of good, solid hits, you haven't had a lot to kind of really to feast your eyes upon here today. So we got thank you. Just fetching myself some mustard and relish. So sorry for that delay, but it was too important. It was too important. If they would have went off and I didn't have mustard and relish, just plain hot dog, it would have been a really dispiriting moment for me. And you know, if rectifying that comes at the expense of a little dead air, I'm going to do it every time. 9-2, runner on second base. Niagara Falls Americans sticking it to the Ironbacks. Morrison, who's looked like a little bit tired. And here's the thing, that early pitching change really meant that you had to let some guys dangle out on the mound a little bit longer than you might have wanted to. So, I don't know. It felt like a lose-lose situation. You deny Sagan the opportunity to take care of that himself, to get some valuable experience, to develop, and then you put everybody else in more precarious positions where you lost all your wiggle room and your margin for error was gone. Second inning. Backseat driver. More backseat driving for me today. 2 on the count. 2-2 the count. Xander Clark gets played. He's doubled, he's walked, knocked in a run. A couple of infield ground outs. See what happens this time. He's sort of 50-50 so far this game. He's going to lean in one direction after this next pitch. Or the pitch after that. Full count. Morrison's body language is, I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. That's what I'm taking away. Just need one pitch, my friend. One pitch. Here goes the runners. A little grounder. Martin throws. Well done by Martin. Sticking with that. Inning's over. Another couple runs are in. It's 9-2 Americans.
9-2. Thanks, focus a moment of the action. Follow the Ironbacks online all season long.
Really hurting here for some offense are the Ironbacks. 9-2. The umpire's waving up to the press box. Apparently there's a new hitter. They're cool. Hey, I don't know, man. Umpire looking expectantly up to the press box. I don't know what for what, to be honest with you. Game is delayed. Some stuff moving on. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Know the count. Running Glassford trying to get things started here for the Ironbacks. They've got 6 outs to work with. They need 7 runs at least. Strike one. Lerner just working through things. Again, he's used this education day as an opportunity to assert his time has come. Education day it is. My name's Lerner. We're a fit. Fouled back into the netting. Great day here for the school kids. I mean, they didn't get the best opportunity to cheer for the home team, but they seem to have fun nonetheless. Hung with the game perhaps longer than I did. Strike 3. You know, I give credit to the home plate umpire. It's been pretty consistent. I think it's been a pretty reasonable strike zone. Can't complain at all. 1 out for Peyton Panazzo. Panazzo's 0 for 2 with a walk. Ironbacks with just 4 hits. They should have maybe gone to the bouncy castle or something. Get into that bouncy castle and find some mojo. Quickly behind here. And again, for those who've been hanging in the whole game, I apologize. There's been some technical difficulties here today with different things, audio, visual, etc. It's been a full gamut technical difficulties. For those of you that hung in there, thank you. And we'll continue to try to do better. 0-2 the count here. Misses inside, 1-2. Big game for Lerner. Trying to get on the good foot. He had some rough outings there earlier. We saw one here, and this has been a really strong outing for him. Oh, I say that. And then he hits Peyton Panazzo with a pitch. That's a base runner. You'll kind of take him however you get him at this point. Panazzo doesn't seem terribly pleased by it. I wouldn't expect him to be. Getting hit by a baseball, not one of the things I miss about playing baseball. Here comes Kieran Cutler. Quiet day at the plate for Cutler. Does have an RBI, a sac fly. He's 0 for 2 though. Cutler thrilled us here in opening night with a long distance running home run. Be nice to see him put a charge into one. And Lerner is a guy who is not adverse for throwing a meatball or two. You want to know the count? Long look in from Lerner. Oh. You can see a little tilt of the head from Cutler, as in that might have been a pitch for me. 1-1 the count. One out. Oh, a little curveball. Buckled the knees of Cutler, but just missed the inside black of the plate. 2-1 the count. Infield playing pretty shallow here for Cutler and left, I think. Oh, and he takes one off the shoulder. Lerner suddenly losing the zone. He's gone 3 1/3 so far, putting up zeros. Josh Bullock's going to look to change that. Lerner takes a look at the bullpen, and what he would have seen when he took that look is that there's somebody warming up right now down there in the pen. Joshua Bullock at the plate. It's been a long wait for Ironbacks to have something to cheer about. See if Bullock can provide it. Strike 1 from Lerner. Back in the zone. Green baseball glove. It's an interesting choice. Looks like that one's been around. I'm sure there's some significance for Lerner. Takes a second, steps off the rubber. 0-1 the count. just misses the inside corner. High and tight on Bullock. It's 1-1. Oh, nice job hanging in there. That'll get the... Whoa! Ball skips past the left fielder. And what looked like a simple single that would load the bases becomes a single with an error that scores 2 runs. Tough luck for Lerner.
Shortstop, Cooper Martin.
Single. He's 7. Xander Clark totally misplayed that hop. And that takes Will Cordero on a slow walk out to the mound. And that's a slow walk. Taking the ball, though. Decent outing from Lerner. Kind of a victim of a tough play for Xander Clark. You can see the American players coming out of the dugout, clapping, giving some love to the pitcher, and good for them. After last night's shellacking at the hands of Batavia, who can do that to you? It's a welcome change. We're going to be right back in a second. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is. Logan Stickler? Thank you.
On the mound for the Americans, number 17, Logan Stickler.
I'd rather have these in a yellow bag. Those suck.
Wouldn't it just be the way to clear out all the kids and come back to win?
Wow, that would be leaves out next level.
17 the pitcher.
I'm gonna cross the border just for this.
You know what? I crossed the border just for oatmeal pies. You know oatmeal, like oatmeal pies?
Why, you don't have those in Canada?
No.
Really?
We used to.
Heavy. Really?
Really?
And I've heard of a cream pie. I've never heard of
You never like their little
Little Debbie's, right? Yeah. Just like a little cookie sandwich.
They are just very good.
I'd be the guy who go to the States for like
Where do you think I got this?
you guys got the library? I've been trying, but I had a bit of a blackout.
This dude's usually a third base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back. It's Logan Stickler on the mound for the Niagara Falls Americans. He's given a 5-run lead. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Excuse me, just a runner on second base. Cooper Martin at the plate. It's been an excellent day in the field. It's 1 for 3 at the plate with an RBI.
Shortstop today for the Ironbacks. 1 out in the inning.
Stickler's pitched 1 inning so far this season. 1 strikeout. No runs given up. 1 hit. Behind 1-0 to start. A little bit of heat there. 1-1. Martin swinging through that pitch.
Knows he's only thrown for about an inning and a half, so you kind of let it loose. Second, Stickler delivers inside the fastball.
High and inside. 2-1 the count. Ironbacks have chopped that lead down to 5. They need some hits, man. They've only got 5 thus far this game, and really at some point they got to make real contact if they want to win.
2-1. Stickler misses 5, all 3.
I'm not sure what that was from Stickler. Looked like a wrinkle that he didn't get on top of. So it's 3-1. Many base runners as they can get, the better. Yeah, looks like he might have swung at ball 4. Full count, but that just missed below the knees. So
Already in the inning. Strikeout by Ronnie Blaster. Stickler from the stretch.
full count.
Bullock at second.
Big gap between first and second, which Martin utilizes a lot, actually. He likes the oppo shot.
Fastball a little bit high. Fouled off well. So this is ball back to the heat.
Stickler from the set. Here's the 3-2. Fastball.
Oh, he stays alive. That pitch was probably a little bit outside, but
By Martin. Would have been close, but definitely a
kept himself at the plate, and that's the important thing. Martin from Plainfield, Indiana, big Reds fan, Joey Votto fan. It's a high fly ball to left. It's going back as Clark, and that will give you the second out. Better play by Xander Clark out there.
Gallo.
2 out. Ironbacks down to 4 outs. Here comes Jordan Gallo.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes back right away, he's definitely
Gallo has a home run this year.
down 9
All sorts of like oozing possibilities at the plate.
ball. You want
Could use
so
some of those possibilities being realized right here, right now.
being off the bag so much and making sure that he would score.
Ooh,
Stickler lands
I
a
know.
strike in there for strike.
Gallo is just every time I see him here, it gets kind of bitten right off the bat with a slightly dodgy strike call. It's behind 0-1. That was a tough way to start off a bat. Nice poke past the third baseman. They're going to hold the runner up at third base. Runners on first to third. Nice job of hitting there by Gallo. Always so tempted to say Joey Gallo.
Josh Bushin.
But it's Jordan. Josh Bushin now at the plate for the Ironbacks. Looking to keep things going. They need a whole lot of keep things going to get back in this game. Josh Bushin at the plate. Bushin from Oakville, Ontario. Posh Oakville, Ontario. Attends Canisius University. Big fan of Ernie Clement. There's a strike at the top of the zone. Fair call. Favorite artist, Kendrick Lamar. 0-1. It's up high. Man, if they could chip away at this 5-run lead here just a wee bit, give them a chance going into the ninth. We still got some kids here from Education Day. That's strike 2, no doubt. Good call by the home plate umpire.
Giving all game. Now Stickler ahead 1-2. First and third. Here in the bottom half of the 8th. 2 runs already in. The Americans still lead 9-4. Stickler misses outside.
Misses outside. It's 2-2.
Twice more of a two-way star though. Pitches by trade. As well as
That's 3-2.
more of
Just missed. And again, the umpire has been pretty solid about
a also
where that zone is. Very consistent. It's a full count. Runners on first and third.
2 pitch coming. Gallo will take off first on the pitch.
Runners will be on the move. There they go. That was ball 4, but
Play. We'll do it again. 3-2
fouled that one off. It was a little bit high around the chest area. And again, it's always easy to call it from up here. Very different when you're at the plate making split-second decisions. Full count. Runners on the move again. Here comes Stickler. That's a little grounder to short. Shouldn't be a problem. That's it. 6-3. It is 9-4 going into the top of the ninth for the Niagara Falls Americans.
After 8 complete, the Americans 9, and the Ironbacks 4.
This game to be over.
Fans of your Ironbacks serve up a donut this inning. That means 0 runs allowed, and 10 lucky fans will win a delicious Beechwood donut, courtesy of Kadula Financial Planning.
Caleb Locatelli.
And for our young fans remaining towards the end of the game, if you're interested in running the bases, we will assemble by the Ironbacks dugout where you'll have a chance to meet Megan and her crew to get you organized.
Yeah, what time are we looking at here? Not as long as last game. Last game was like 4 hours.
Really?
It was insane.
No, I was to these games on Friday and Saturday. And the one on Saturday, like 2.5 hours. It was so quick.
That's so nuts. Perfect time.
And I mean, it was hot out too. And we were right like in the sun, so it was kind of nice. But yeah, it was like 2.5 hours. I like had to change my dinner reservations.
You have to move it up?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be way later.
Hey, new picture here.
Who is it? It's Locatelli. Caleb Locatelli.
Got it.
Now pitcher for the Ironbacks from Thorold, number 8, Caleb Locatelli.
Welcome back to Ironbacks Baseball here on Education Day, deep in the heart of Merritt, Ontario. The Ironbacks are down 9-4. They've introduced a new pitcher. It's Caleb Locatelli entering the game. Thorold's own Caleb Locatelli. And few names say Thorold quite as profoundly as Locatelli. Lots of vowels. Flows, bounces off the tongue. He's facing Savino. A lot of vowels in play in this particular at-bat. Savino fouls it back. Savino's 0 for 3. He's got a walk. Oh, way behind on that. Way behind on that. Locatelli, who attended Thorold Secondary School, Thorold High as we call it. Thorold, travel team Bulletproof Elite, attends Erie Community College. He's up 1-2 here. That one's high. 2-2 the count. Favorite food is tacos. And you may see his dad, Nathan Locatelli, at times working the K's out there on left field. Oh, he aimed that one. 3-2 the count. Savino really hanging in there. Kids still kicking around here in the ninth inning. We'd love to give them something a little bit more to cheer about than they've had thus far. Ooh, in on the hands. Count stays full. Ironbacks desperately need another clean inning here. Want to have any chance coming back in the bottom of the ninth? Good for all these kids who hung out here all this time. Close in on a 3-hour mark on this game. There's a walk from Locatelli to start things off. Not the way you really hope to start the inning. Brings up David Harris. Harris 2 for today. Double, single, pop to short. Again, Americans has been super aggressive on the base pass today and really have been stealing more off the pitcher than the catcher. As they forced some kind of off-target throws a bit from Cutler, who's been trying to play in catch-up once he actually receives the ball behind the plate there. 1-0 the count. Locatelli started strong in that last at bat and then lost the hitter. That one's fouled down the third baseline. That's going to be a long run, but it's caught there. Nice job tagging as a runner. Man, he got some kind of jump. We'll see that happen every day. Moving up on a fly ball to left field. Bushin got pulled well into foul territory with his momentum, which gave Savino a chance to take the extra bag. So we got a runner on second, 1 out. Here comes Evan Schenk. This pitch is outside. Beechwood Donuts on the line here too. That's hit to center field. Nice catch. That's 2 out. Runner stays on second. Yeah, so it's a clean inning here. If Locatelli can get out of this, get that last out. That to be some free Beechwood Donuts. I hate to see these kids leaving before they get the opportunity at some free Beechwood Donuts. There you go, just at the top of the zone. Cooper Roll not too happy with that call. Felt it might a little tad high. 0-1 the count. There he fouls that one off. Just past the stands there. In between the stands and the bouncy castle, which is sadly kind of left to its own devices at this point with all the kids mostly gone. 0-2 the count. Locatelli 1 strike away from providing fans with some well-deserved free donuts. That is hit into center. Should be a piece of cake. It is. Free donuts. It is. It is 9-4. Going to the bottom of the ninth. The Ironbacks need 5 runs to catch up. It does suck. What are the donuts this week at Beechwood Donuts?
That means we're giving away some donut gift cards. Happy birthday. Would anyone else like some donut gift cards? It's a fun.
Beechwood Donuts. Order online.
I feel good for some donuts. Anyone else? Over here? You might have been voluntold to purchase some donuts, but here you go.
I can show you how actually good at basketball. The court can be like, John, he's actually goated. Nothing like a top seed play. Dude, I hate you. I'm sorry. Dude, you're so good. Look at your hands after you eat them. They're so weird. I love eating something that makes a mess. It's terrible.
It's so gross after you put stick. My hand.
What I eat? I gotta eat like the crunchy one. Okay. Freak you out?
Yeah, it's like a ghost
Oh.
inside of them.
Yeah. Look,
Next
why are
time
they
they come
orange?
here, I'll bring you an open pie.
Yeah. I gotta try one of those. It's not wicked.
Yeah, we bases, Megan is heading towards the Ironbacks dugout. You can go meet her now, and we will coordinate that at the end of this game.
Yeah, no, it's Stickler. We're good to go back. Welcome back to Ironbacks Baseball. It's the bottom of the ninth. It is 9-4 for Niagara Falls Americans. Devin Medora coming to the plate. It's interesting. I mean, this is you have a righty here at the plate because they took out Haas Fenwick for a pinch runner down 7-2. I'll leave it there for your consideration. So it's 9-4. They need some from Devin Medora to start things off. Pitch upstairs and away. Medora from Sudbury, Ontario. Comes into the game batting 154. Got a double. He's got a triple. There's a rip right at the third baseman, though. Known in some circles as an F5. One out. Just 2 outs remaining. It's number 0. Griffin the third at the plate. Franklin Griffin batting 143 coming into this game. Really fooled a little bit by the change from Stickler, who we've seen here before. He's pitched well at this park before. 0-1. Oh, way behind. Way behind in that. It's 0-2. I mean, we mentioned earlier in the game that this was a big kind of test for the Ironbacks to see if their offense could do it. Results thus far not that great. Ground ball to short. Nice toss. Let me check that statement. Not a nice toss. Off the mark. That'll be I'm going to check with the official score on that. Single? Error? Yeah, that's an error by the shortstop. Probably could have figured that on my own if I thought about it. That was just a bad toss. So Griffin on via error. And yeah, that is the sound of Motley Crue, so it must be Michael Gregas at the plate. It's 2 for 4 today. 1 out. Third baseman playing on the lip of the infield grass. That ball is ripped high into right center field. The center fielder goes back. Nice catch. Just got a little bit under that, did Gregas.
Number 34, Ronan Glassford.
And then there was one down to the last out. The last couple at bats for Glassford, it ended with him looking back at the umpire after a called third strike and somewhat shaking his head dismissively. See if he can break that trend. Did have a double in the fourth, so he's 1 for 4. And thanks to all the fans that came out here for Education Day, all the teachers that got them here and kept things on point. It was a beautiful morning in Meriton. Not the best game for the Ironbacks, but any day outside in the sun watching a baseball game can't be that bad of a day. Ball 2 to Glassford. And again, thank you to all those of you out there who watched this game and made it through some technical difficulties. I still hear some crack under my headphones, so it may be continuing for all I know. 3-0 is the count. Peyton Panazzo on deck. Ooh, right down the middle was that pitch. 3-1 in the count. Looked like he was taken there, which would have been a smart thing.
Behind in the count 3-1. Americans looking for their 4th win on the season, first in the last 2 games.
That is a walk. We've got runners on first and second. So if Jesse was here, he would say, so you're saying there's a chance. Yepers, it is runners on first and second, 2 out. And here comes Peyton Panazzo. Next game for the Ironbacks would be Thursday at home. Next home game at home. Thursday versus Geneva. The first time we'll see him here at home. Ooh, just missed there. Stickler probably not terribly happy with that call. Sets back up pretty quickly. Panazzo's been hit by a pitch. He's walked. That's high and away. Stickler has lost the zone here. We'll see how long this continues for. Had heard him that first pitch being right on top of the strike zone, but I guess just a bit outside. 2-0. Let's see if Panazzo's taken. Are you going to want to make him throw a strike at this point? Down 4. There you go. High and tight. Richard Griffin goes through his series of signs. Panazzo looks down, nods his head. You'd have to think the take was on, but I've been around here for too long to have to think that. So it's 3-0. Hawk circles just above the field. Wow. That's ball 4. I was kind of watching the Hawk at that point. Still circling just above the third baseline. Huh. Bases are loaded. Bases are loaded for Kieran Cutler. The tying run is in the batter's box right now. The potential tying run, we should call it. Will Cordero takes his long, slow walk to the mound. He's just telling him a few things. You're okay. You got this. Just throw strikes. Play catch with the catcher. You got this. Now watch me. Watch how coolly I'm going to walk back to the dugout right now. See this? This is what you got to be. This is how pros do it. They mosey. When pressure comes, they mosey. Takes a look back at the umpire. Doesn't say anything. Such an interesting counterpoint to Richard Griffin, who's very demonstrative, chatting his way around home plate. Gives a little last second advice to Kieran Cutler. Keep your hands together. I think that seemed to be what it is. Now you got Stickler, who's been struggling to find his zone. So do you have a take here, or do you think like maybe you get a fatty right away? That's the old question. Nice fastball, just top of the zone. Not sure if they said he went around or if that was at the top of the zone. Either way, it's 0-1, so it doesn't much matter. Nice hard fastball there. A little high on that one. 1-1. No signs being given by the coaches. I mean, it's just hit the darn ball. That's kind of the key here. Oh, just missed that one. Cutler tilting his head to the right, to the left. It's 1-2. Resets. Clears the mechanism. 1-2 is the count. Stickler 1 strike away from getting the Americans out of this and bringing the record to 4 wins. Just missed outside. That was a good fastball, but just missed outside. Count is 2-2. I mean, you couldn't ask for anybody else to be at the plate beyond Cutler. In terms of threat of doing real damage, they have not hit a ball real sharply all game. Full count. Bases loaded. Ironbacks down to the last out. Cutler takes a deep breath. Stares at his bat. Steps in. Stickler, who's been wobbling around here for the last couple batters, tries to find one pitch to get this game over. There goes the runners. That is a walk. What do you know? The tying run comes to the plate. 3 straight walks from Stickler. The umpire comes out to do something with the rubber, like Maybe he's having a conversation with Stickler about. It's got to be painful sometimes when the umpire too watches stuff. So who knows? But Joshua Bullock now, bases loaded, 9-5. Down by 4. Stickler really struggling. Misses outside again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. He is lost in the wilderness right now. This is kind of like that biblical loss, like in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. That might be the ark, though. Timelines. It's been a while. It's been a while. 1-1 is the count. He finally finds a strike zone. Like a glass of water in the desert. No deals with the Devils required. 1-1 is the count on Bullock. Just missing on that outside corner. Bullock pushing him. Bullock does like his long count, so everybody playing pretty straight up in the outfield and the infield. They just want a single out to end this game. Ooh, Bullock just chased ball 3. It's a little low and outside. It's now 2-2 on Bullock. Bullock's had a wild day. He's been hit by a pitch. He's singled. He's walked. Flied out to left. Fouls one straight back. Stickler's so close. Got to be aching to get this inning over. It's been a long one for him. Reaches down. Touches some dirt. Gets those fingers dry. Just thinks again, I just need one pitch to end this game. Oh my goodness, what kind of one pitch was that? It's a full count. Everybody stayed where they were for the Ironbacks. It's really a short distance to the backstop. And down by 4, it would have been foolhardy to send the runners. Bullock, full count, bases loaded again. 4-run difference here. Ironbacks looking for one big crack of the bat if they can get it, but they'll take another walk if they can't. Fouled out of play. Runners going with the pitch there. Ball rattles off of some empty stands with all the school kids returned to school. Count stays full. Logan Stickler trying to finally end this inning. Ironbacks take off the pitch. Strike 3. That's it. 9-5. Americans, we'll see you here Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. We take on Geneva. Thank you very much.
Niagara Ironbacks 5. Fans, a reminder that our next home game is set for Thursday, June 18th, as the Red Wings come to George Taylor Field to face off with your Ironbacks. Gates open at 5. First pitch is set for 6:30. The Ironbacks player of the game is number 22, Josh Bullock.
Josh Bullock, the player of the game today.
From all of us here at George Taylor Field, we thank you for attending Education Day today. Drive home safely. We hope to see you back here Thursday. And Megan and your